Yesterday's rainy weather has dealt a nearly fatal blow to the hopes of the Paoli High School band to perform at the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics. The band needed to raise $100,000 for the trip, but lost nearly $27,000 yesterday when only a handful of people showed up for a 4th of July fundraising concert. A band booster says the outlook is pretty bleak, but they are holding a meeting tonight to try to figure where to turn. The only chance for the band, he says, is for some very generous benefactors to step forward very quickly.
A dream. Scott Patrick has the story.
Meet 110 members of the U.S. Olympic team, the Paoli High School Band. Their field of competition, the playing field. The band has been invited to welcome the world to the L.A. Olympics. But it takes more than just memorizing music to make it to L.A. It takes money. The band boosters use the old adage, to make money, you've got to spend money. They organized a July 4th concert. It cost $50,000 to stage. It was supposed to raise double that. It did not. The rain washed away any profits, but not the band members' hopes.
I think if the kids keep their hopes high, that we'll still be able to go, because I think we can still raise the money. It's quite a bit, but I think we'll be able to do it.
If we just keep our minds and attitudes up and try to raise the money, I think we'll be able to make it without any problem at all.
So while the band went through the paces, the parents went through the damages, trying to figure out ways to still send the Pride of Paoli. It turned into a parental pep rally.
I think the willingness is still there, and if we get behind it, I think we can still make it.
Even if they don't make it to the Olympics, band members still consider it a unique, distinct honor to have been selected to represent their country. They've still earned their gold medal, even if they're not able to attend the awards ceremony. In Paoli, Indiana, Scott Patrick, WAVE TV News, tonight.
Well, that band booster meeting has continued all evening up in Paoli, and Scott has returned now from Paoli. He's in the newsroom. And Scott, any decision from Paoli on whether the trip is still go?
No decisions yet, Don, but apparently the meeting is still going on at this hour. That's probably 2.5 hours this meeting has lasted. I think you could see that the band boosters' enthusiasm was just as much as the band members. But economic reality really set in at this meeting. Yesterday's washout pretty much wiped out most of the money raised so far. But they have a lot of ground to make up in very little time. But the fact that the meeting continues at this hour is a very good sign that the parents are pulling all stops, all efforts to try to get those kids to L.A. They did have some good news tonight. One band booster said he raised $16,000 today. So if they have a few more days like today and a few less like they did yesterday, well, they have a pretty good chance. If the band decides to keep going for the gold, it's a good bet that most businesses in and around Paoli can expect to hear a knock on the door in the next few days.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Christy?
Summer Olympics. The band was selected for the trip, but they have to raise the money to go, and so far they haven't had much luck. They had $49,000 before yesterday's 4th of July concert, but the weather kept a lot of people away, and band organizers say the group didn't even cover the cost of the concert. The band only has about 2 weeks to raise the money to go to Los Angeles. A meeting to decide what to do is going on right now.
Patty and I told you about the Paoli High School Band. They've been invited to perform at the Los Angeles Olympics. The trouble is, the fundraiser to pay for the event was rained out on Wednesday, and now the marchers might not be able to go. They need about $100,000. Contributions are being accepted through Tuesday at this address, Box 187, Paoli, Indiana, 47454. Again, the address, Box 187, Paoli, 47454.
Acclaimed Paoli High School Band may never make it to the Summer Olympics. While the holiday rain washed out mostly picnics and barbecues, it also may have drowned the once-in-a-lifetime dreams of 110 students from Paoli, Indiana. Rick Chambers has the story.
Just told me today they lost $27,000 yesterday when the fundraising concert was rained out. That means the band must come up with $60,000 to $70,000 in just 10 days. On July 15th, $40,000 must be paid to the airlines, and another $40,000 is already 2 weeks overdue for hotel accommodations in L.A. Now, faced with this financial deadline, band boosters are calling on corporate Indiana to underwrite part or all of the needed funds. Local residents will again be asked to dig deeper into their pockets for cash. An appeal is going out to Louisville for help, and parents may be asked to pay for their child's trip to the Olympics. And band members who today cleaned up after yesterday's concert failure say that they're still optimistic, but are beginning to face the thought of staying home in August.
And Don, the band boosters will again be meeting this evening to discuss this whole issue. No doubt some sort of decision will be made either to go ahead with the fundraising efforts or just scrap the trip entirely.
Rick, how's the rest of the community reacting to the loss?
Well, Don, the spirits are noticeably down, but they certainly are not broken in Paoli. The optimism is still strong this evening. You have to keep in mind, though, that since the fundraising efforts began, this is the first time that they have failed. The Paoli is just going to have to now pick themselves back up, realize that they made a mistake, try to forget it, and then quickly get back on the fundraising bandwagon.
To be successful, what will it take to keep that trip alive now?
Well, as I said before, they are going to be meeting tonight. At that meeting, they will discuss various avenues to take. Getting a loan for the total amount, of course, is one, but they need some sort of guarantees from the public that the money is going to be there when they need to start making those loan payments. Of course, getting someone to underwrite this whole thing is the long shot, but you have to admit that stranger things have happened in Kentuckiana. I spoke with Lieutenant Governor John Mutz today by phone. He said that he will draft some sort of letter to a bunch of those corporations urging them to help Paoli out in this time of need. Paoli Peak said that they will volunteer another $5,000 or $6,000 towards that effort. That is if the rest of the money can be found. And the Derby Dinner Playhouse is going to have their fundraiser at the end of this month. But still, with just 10 days left before the deadline, you have to think that the odds are against the band.
In something like the concert yesterday, Rick, was there any thought given to insuring it against this kind of a loss because of the weather?
Yeah, there was. Organizers did try, and the scenario is almost comical. Lloyd's of London was the only company that said yes, they would insure an outdoor concert against rain. Now, they wanted $6,000 up front. The organizers would have to pick out a 3-hour block of time during the day. Now, if it did rain more than 3/10 of an inch during that time period, and there was a registered meteorologist on duty to verify that, they would pay up. Of course, we all know that it did rain yesterday in Paoli, although it was less than 3/10 of an inch. So even if they had been insured, they would have still lost an additional $6,000.
Ooh, gamble there, too.
Here, here.
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
The band still plans to perform at the Los Angeles Summer Olympics next month, but as Brian Trauring reports, getting there won't be easy.
The Pride of Paoli played a happy tune earlier this week. The band had collected $50,000 toward its trip to the Los Angeles Olympics, about half what was needed. It looked like a 4th of July concert and fundraiser called The Happening would put the band over the top. But The Happening was cut short by rain, and the band lost $42,000 in one day.
Hi, we're the band that's going to get to help us go to the Olympics. Why, sure. Come on in.
Band members are now back at square one. They're going door to door, asking people in the community to donate one more time.
They've already helped a lot, but, you know, we have to ask them more because of the, you know, the happening not working out the way we expected it. And we're thinking about, you know, they asked the parents to, you know, each try to, you know, raise $1,000 each, and we're gonna, so I think I'm gonna call some of my relatives and ask for money from them.
Band boosters will also hold swim-a-thons and other sponsored events to help raise money. Some adults plan to apply for grants from private foundations to help foot the bill. The band needs more than $80,000 and hopes to have a good part of it by next Tuesday. That's when the final decision will be made whether to go. But the high school principal says he's determined the trip will take place as scheduled.
We call our band the Pride of Paoli, and we have a lot of pride in our band. We have a lot of pride in our community, and we're not quitters.
Brian Trauring, 32 Alive News.